Welcome to the Dice Gods. My name is Hydra, and we are back talking about the new Infinity Essentials box and what's in here. This has been with me for a little while now. I've had time to have a think about it. I've not put it together yet because we have plans for that, but I just wanted to talk some more about this because we also had an update video from Corvus Belli today talking more about the direction Essentials is going to go. So one thing that was really interesting to me is when I put the video out about Essentials, you guys went nuts. We got lots of views for that. That was lovely. Lots of comments and lots of people, new players coming out of the woodwork and saying, oh, I'm joining, this is amazing. And even some old friends, I see you, Matt, who have circled Infinity, even played a bit of it in the past and have just bounced off the outside, seen this box and gone, oh, heckin' yeah. So I want to talk a little bit more about my views on this box, the shortcomings, what else you'll need, the good points, the direction it's going, how it compares to that box over there, Sandtrap, how they kind of fit together or don't, some nuances that I've noticed in this box that I think new players should be aware of, and overall first opinions, and also what we're going to be doing with Essentials, because for N4 we had the Infinity Academy, which was a how to play guide for Infinity. Still on the channel, it's now sort of archived out. We're going to be doing something new for N5 called the Institute, but we're actually going to be doing an Infinity Essentials video separately. That is going to be its own distinct thing, separate to the Institute. So we're going to talk about that as well. But first of all, just as a quick recap, if you haven't seen this box, this is the new suggested way to get inside of Infinity. This is about 45 euros, this box. And what we have in there is everything you need to play. We have 6 miniatures, 3 Pan-Oceania, 3 Japanese Successionist Army. We have terrain, we have a board, we have, wonderfully, these little absolute stonking profile cards as well. So you actually have the details of the units that you're playing with on a card. Historically, you didn't get that. And dice and tokens and everything, and the quick start rules. Everything you need to play is in this box. And for that price, it's phenomenal. It is a great way to start. It is a fantastic way. The thing about Infinity, if you haven't joined, if you just look at this and go, oh, finally, and get involved, let's have a little bit of a you and me chat about the reality of Infinity. A lot of people say that Infinity is hard, that it's difficult, that it's impenetrable, all this kind of thing. I disagree. I fundamentally disagree. I'm an 11-year veteran. That doesn't help. But also, I spend a lot of my time teaching people to play this game. Away from YouTube, over 150 people play or have played Infinity because I gave them a demo or I gave them an intro sequence of games and that kind of thing. It's kind of my jam, and it has been for near on a decade, just getting people in and going, my God, have you seen Infinity? Let me show you how it works. And what I have learned is that Infinity is not difficult. What Infinity is deep, okay? One thing new players experience when they start out is analysis paralysis. It is that moment where you go, what should I do? Or, what should I buy? Okay. This will attend to that. When it comes to, let's talk about what to buy first of all. Inside of Infinity, when you put together a force, so like most war games, you have points and you spend points on troopers to build a force, okay? When you look at certain profiles, certain types of trooper, like in here we have Fusiliers. These two people on the side here, these are Fusiliers. Fusiliers are the most basic of the basic, and they have something like, I want to say 10 different options in their profile of different types of Fusilier. So you select Fusilier, I've got 2 Fusiliers, what shall I have? We have the different loadouts, we have the different specialists, we have the different weapons, we have the... And that's often the case. It's rare that you will open a profile and there is only one option for that trooper. There are normally multiple weapons, multiple abilities, multiple skills. What do you choose? Which is the right one? It depends. Which should I get? Which one do you like? it leads to this whole, what do I buy next and what have you got? It's quite intensive. Essentials will do away with that one because you start by buying this box, and then, as was beautifully announced today by Corvus Belli, image on screen now, and I'm going to bring it up on my screen so I can talk about it. So let's talk about the two factions inside this box. We have JSA and we have Pan-Oceania. They're going to release an army pack which contains 7 miniatures for each, and then they're going to release a support pack, then they're going to release a remotes pack, then a tag pack, then we're going to get booster packs, and a hero. So we are going to build out to, what's that, 10, 14, 16, 17, 20, 21 miniatures. That will not only give you more than a full army, because a full army is about 15 miniatures, ish. But it will give you options, because you're going to have more than the 15. So you'll have ways to tailor this list to the way that you want. Crucially, as you can see on the screen now, they're going to do the same with Nomads. They're going to do the same with Yuqing. So if you look at JSA, you look at Pan-Oceania, and you're like, meh, that's not for me. We're going to get the same thing for two other main factions. So we're going to get Pano, Nomads, Yuqing, and JSA are all going to have their own essentials range with that same structure. Yuqing and Nomads will start off with a 10 miniature box, and then you'll get the support pack, and then you get the remotes, blah, 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 blah. So you don't need to worry about what to buy next. The essential system will tell you what to buy next. Are they any good? As a veteran player, I don't know what's going to be in the Nomad and Yuqing action packs, but they are almost certainly going to be very potent. I have my own theories. I'd expect to see like light infantry like we have with the Pan-Oceania pack, so the Fusiliers. I'd expect to see some heavy infantry, some medium infantry. The support packs are a must because support packs contain specialists like a doctor and an engineer. It's the normal thing you'll get in there. Those are really crucial for completing missions. Remote packs are the little robots like we see on screen. So these are probably Pan-Oceanian robots. These may be Yuqing ones. And these could be Nomad ones. These little robots they tend to have 4 builds. They do certain jobs. You can tailor them to do certain jobs. Then we have the tags. I mean, this is a Mongol cavalry. This is a Salamandra. Oyori, cutters. Why would you not want these miniatures? They're also incredibly potent heavy hitters. We'll have to see what comes in the booster pack, but it's going to be good stuff. The booster packs have been really interesting. Unless it's the existing booster packs. That'd be interesting. Anyway, and then we have the heroes. Wolfgang Amadeus Wolf, Li Gong, Shinobu Kitsune, and Joan of Arc. Right, Joan of Arc is a must-have for Pano, especially in mobility armor. She's an absolute beast. Shinobu Kitsune for JSA, also Invisible Ninja of Death. Li Gong, as I play the army that he's in, Invincible Army. He's a bit meh, I'll be honest, as is Wolfgang Amadeus Wolf. I think there are probably better options for both of those, but actually it depends what the rest of the armies. It could be tasty. But either way, you're going to get this roadmap ahead of you of what you can get, what you should get, and if you follow that, you're going to end up with a pretty potent force on all fronts. So back to me. Hi. So I think that's really interesting. That takes away that bit of analysis, like, what do I get next? We don't know at this point whether those boxes are going to contain these profile cards. I hope they will, but I don't know whether they will. If they do, genius all day long. Yeah, so those are coming up. That part of what should I buy next? Resolved. Tick. Essentials has got you covered. Analysis, paralysis, and game. So you've built your list, you've got to the table, you're going to throw some dice. Fantastic. One of the greatest struggles with Infinity is, what do I do? You have such a vast amount of control. Without going into too much detail about how the game works, you can choose how and when to activate your troops. You can activate the same troop multiple times. You have a range of skills that each trooper can complete. the way that the order in which you activate your troopers, the way you move towards completion, this is all down to you. And you see it a lot with new players that they walk into the game and they just go, what should I do? What do you want to do? Stuff. Cool, I would do stuff then. But I don't know how. Is it the right thing? Is it a good thing? It's intense. It's a lot. And the quick start rules here strip out a lot of that. It's kind of shoot, dodge, close combat. The kind of way that I'd recommend learning the game, which is you just learn to move, you learn to shoot, you learn to poke something with a stick, aka close combat, you learn to dodge out of the way if somebody shoots you in the face. Those core skills, which, if memory serves, is what's in the QSR, the quick start rules, is a great grounding to learn the basic mechanics of the game, because the mechanics of the game are the important bit for Infinity. There are predominantly 3 types of attack in the game. There is shooting, there is close combat, and there is hacking. If you can shoot, close combat is the same as shooting, just with no range. You have to be base to base, pretty much. And hacking is the same as shooting, is the same as close combat, but it happens within an 8-inch bubble of yourself or a repeating antenna. Don't worry about what that means. Trust me, that it's the same process. You go through the same roles, maybe using a different attribute, but you go through the same roles. The results work out the same way. It's all much for muchness. When you get that process down, awesome. You activate your units using orders. When you can spend an order, that is the most important process that you'll complete in the game, the way that works. And that is all discussed in this box. The shooting, the close combat, the spending of an order, the flow of a turn, that's all in here. And only that's it. That's all, the only thing that's in here. So you don't get all of the complicated stuff. We don't get all the camouflage. We don't get all of the equipment that you can get in there. And that's good. That's the way to learn this system. That's the way to get comfortable with the system, because when you have got those basics down, somebody can throw into that. Let's talk about mimetism. Mimetism is a skill which modifies the ability for somebody to shoot you. Okay? It makes you harder to hit because your guy's got camouflage. He's like the predator, whatever. It's in the movie, not... Anyway. So when you know how to do a shooty, when somebody says this is mimetism, and mimetism makes it harder for you to be shot by this amount, okay, so I just put this little modifier in. Okay, we can do that. That's not too difficult. That's fine. And when you've got mimetism down, then you can go, right, this is a piece of equipment called a multispectral visor. A multispectral visor cancels mimetism. Okay, so I know how to do a shooty, so I know how to do mimetism, so I know to... The multispectral visor, right, this stuff all starts building into place. They strip all that out for this because you don't need to know that in your first 3-4 games. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And it's interesting because in this box we actually have a Shikami. Where are you? Oh, this dude here. The guy that I described as someone that you point at someone else when you don't want them to be there anymore. Him. He has that ability. He has mimetism. He is mimetism -6. So you modify to hit. Anyway, it's harder to hit him by a value of -6. So if you normally hit on a 12 and you shoot him, you're hitting on a 6. But this box doesn't contain the rules for mimetism. So you don't use that in your first few games. Because you don't need it. It's fine. And it's actually quite important to note that, because the cards, which are in here, these ones here, these actually contain the skill mimetism. So it says on the Shikami one, I'm going to pop it out because I just want to check to make sure that I'm not completely insane. But the cards in here actually have the full rules for things like mimetism, which, sorry for this noise, which you shouldn't be using in your first few games. Where is he? There's my Shikami. Yeah. So you have all these... Come on, focus, you damn thing. Focus. Up. I'm going to take a photograph of this and put it up. It's easier. But this card actually has mimetism -6. It has super jump. It has climbing plus. He has forward deployment. He has dodge plus 2 inches and martial arts level 3. This book of words if memory serves, does not contain the ability to modify that. We don't actually have, no, we don't have mimetism in it. So you don't apply that in your first few games, which is good. But just bear that in mind. You have lots of abilities on the Shikami. I think, do you have anything on the Orc? I don't think he does. No, he's actually the only one. So if we look at like the Orc by comparison, big empty space here. Lots and lots of not empty space here with the Shikami. These are not applied. These rules are not applied while you're learning the game, and that's really important. It's important to know, and it's important to realise, and it's why on the bottom of the cards here we actually have a cost value. And the Shikami is 46 points. And the Orc for Pan-Oceania is 28. If you actually take the other two Fusiliers that are in the box for Pan-Oceania, they're 10 points each. So we have 20 points here. We have 28 points for the Orc. So there's 48 points of Pano in here. And he's 46. He's nearly the same amount of points on his own as everything for Pano. If you applied all of these rules, if all of these rules are in this box would be incredibly unbalanced. But you don't use these rules to start off with. And that keeps it balanced. It also keeps it simple. You have less things to remember. You have less things to worry about. You won't be adding those rules in until that army pack with the other 7 miniatures comes in, at which point I'd put money on we're going to have the same points value. And suddenly everything's going to balance out. It all makes sense. Praise be to Carlos. Carlos is the guy that you see on a lot of the videos. Man's a legend. So yeah, stripping back the rules removes the analysis paralysis in game. Stripping back the miniatures and giving you what you need strips back the analysis paralysis of what to buy. So I think this is really good. I think this is a really good step in the right direction. I think this is important and crucial to picking up the game. But you should be aware that you're going to see things on, especially exclusively the Shikami card, that you're not going to use. Not to start off with, and that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's really not an issue. This box doesn't tell you not to worry about it. I'm telling you not to worry about it. You'll be great. Doesn't matter. Then you can pick up these extra bits and build them in. How does this stack against Sandtrap? Who should buy this? Who should buy this? Which should you get? If you are new to Infinity, if you have never played the game before, if you have never played a war game before, also essentials. This is a product designed for you. You should get this. If you are an existing player, if you are a returning player, then Sandtrap. And actually, if you're looking to do demos, if you're a demo person like myself, having one of these around is probably a good shout. We all have our own methods, but I think this is a really nice thing to have around, especially if you go to shops and stuff like that and demo it. This is a really good bit of kit, because it also means people can just dive in. Even if you've been playing a while, or you played historically, played an N3, and you're thinking about coming back, you're not sure, this might be a good way to try it out, because like under €50, you can try it. You can see what you think. Is this what I need to play? Yes, it is. But you can try it out. So to recap, existing players, Sandtrap. Returning players, probably Sandtrap, unless you're not 100% sure you're on the fence, in which case essentials. New players, people who've never played a war game before, essentials. It's a good set. What else do you need in addition to it? If you haven't ever played a war game before, you haven't done a miniature war game before, you are going to need the equipment to prepare the miniatures. They come in bits, so you're going to need some good super glue. You're going to need some snips for metal. You're going to need sharp X-Acto blade, a craft knife. You're going to need metal files and stuff like that just to take it all down. It sounds scarier than it is. It's really not that scary. You are also going to need some paint to paint them. Yes, the painting standard for Infinity is intimidating. I am an Infinity veteran. I am intimidated. It is okay to be intimidated. Do what you want. Have fun with it. Painting is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fun, enjoyable part of the hobby. It's not a punishment for owning miniatures. That's not the idea. So, so those are the only things you're going to need. Apart from that, you're good to go. Before you can play, you will need, however, to just take the miniatures, give them a bit of a clean up, glue them all together, and stick them on their bases. So that you will need before you can play the game, but then you're off. You don't need to paint them. If you want to keep them as perfectly bright, shiny silver miniatures, they're your minis. Have them how you want them. It's really up to you. As long as you're having fun, you're doing it right. That's the important thing to remember. So that's the information that newbies need. This is the stuff that you need to know. What are we doing? What are the Dice Gods going to be doing about in 5? What are we going to be doing about Essentials? Right. With regards to Essentials, there is going to be a series of videos on this little box of power. Okay? We are going to have how to build the miniatures, how to get them on bases, how to clean them and prime them and paint them by an impatient painter. I'm not the most skilled painter in the world, so you're going to feel right at home. We're going to have a great time, trust me. So we're going to talk about the way and the different techniques of painting them and stuff like that. The do's and the don'ts. Don't do it if you're not having fun. And the things that I'd recommend and all this kind of stuff and where to build from that. So we're literally going to take this box from I've opened it. We're going to do the building of the terrain, how that goes together, how that experience is. And then we're going to do some demo games. We're going to do, this is how you play your first game. This is how you should set the board up. This is how you should set your miniatures up. This is how you should start the game. This is how it should flow. We are going to bring out a range of downloads and missions for our patrons and members so that you can, this is over the coming months, not right now, don't go off and just go crazy now, it's coming, so that you can have a more structured way to get into the game. The quick start rules in here are fab because they teach you the quick start rules. What they don't say to you is, right, set up this board, set yourself up like this, put your miniatures here, this is how you're going to have your first turn. This is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to smell like. This is what it's going to feel like. This is what your objective should be. That series of Infinity Essentials will be expanded if you guys like it, if people watch it, if you engage with it, as the new boxes come out. So when the first set of army packs for Pan-Oceania and the GSA come out, which will expand this, we will do videos of putting the miniatures together and potentially painting them if that's useful to you guys. And then we will do the missions to expand them and the how to plays to expand them. Now, Corvus Belli have got video guides coming out of core ideas about core skills and core abilities and how things sit together and stuff like that. So we won't be replicating that. We'll be doing our own thing because you've got that resource there. So we're going to kind of take that and we're going to build on it to do our own stuff. So it's going to be great. It's really going to be incredibly newbie friendly. We're not going to be talking about too much complicated stuff. Hopefully this video has not been too complicated. We're going to talk you through everything you need to know to get the boxes as they come out, slap it onto the existing stuff that you've got, talk about how that fits together, what's a good idea, what's a bad idea, how they can, work together, how they work on the table, tactics, all this kind of thing, where their strong point is and why. We have the Shikami in here. He's great at close combat. He's great at infiltrating, getting down the board. Should you? How does that look? How do you actually do that? Because Infinity is a very shooty and killy game, so surely a guy with a sword running down the board screaming his head off is a bad thing. Not always. Anyway, so we're going to cover all that kind of good stuff as part of the series. If you'd like to see that, let us know in the comments. That would be great. If there's anything you specifically would like us to cover that I haven't mentioned for Essentials, then put it here. The Infinity Institute will then be for the more advanced player. So it will be, I have wargamed before, maybe I'm returning to Infinity, maybe I've gone through all of Essentials and I've learnt that. Let's recap the core skills, the core processes, bang, 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 right. Tactics, list building, tournament play, mission analysis, tailoring lists, some of the common tactics and concepts and things to look out for and traps and all this kind of thing, the way to create layered defenses, the way to do the nomad missile trick. Newbies, don't worry about that. It's fine. The way to set up hacking networks, all this kind of thing. We'll cover that as part of the Institute. Essentials will be where you start. If you haven't done an Infinity before, if you haven't done a war game before, that series will be for you. And that will be coming in the coming months. As I get time to sit down and build and paint and put together stuff. So look for that coming on the channel soon. For now, you need to know, as I say, new players, whatever your stripe, this is perfect for you. These will be out in the end of the year, so I think these will be December releases, is what I've heard on the sort of grapevine. So you'll start seeing these the end of November for pre-order, and then they should drop in, or maybe even sooner than that. We'll see. But the word is around December time, these will be coming in. So Christmas present. I mean, that is just stocking size. Well, I mean, you know, I won't judge. Maybe it is your stocking size. Maybe it isn't. But perfect gift for Christmas for someone that you love, or somebody that you want to blackmail into playing the game with you. Yeah, I think it's a really good bit of kit, and it's a great way to get into the system. So definitely check it out. And if you have any more questions regarding Essentials, the way that Essentials is going to work, if you're still not sure whether it's for you, whack them in the comments, because I'm happy to help. I'm happy to have that conversation and get an idea of what you're looking for. And also, if you have ideas of things we could put in our videos with this system, tell me. We're here to cover the stuff you want to hear, so whack it down in the comments below. Thanks once again to Corvus Belli, who sent us this box so early. Really appreciate that. That is very kind. Thank you to our channel members and our patrons who have joined for as little as a small cup of coffee, which is really helpful and makes all of this doable and possible and motivates me when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm editing still. I'm fine. Thank you to those guys. Joe Rogers, who's our longest standing member and really should have something better to do with his money than support this channel, but he's still here, so I'm not going to complain. Thank you very much for that. If you haven't become a channel member or patron, consider doing that. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, it's absolutely awesome if you can like, share, subscribe, give us a comment, do all the things that help push and promote the channel out through the algorithm, because the algorithm is God. Even above the dice gods, the YouTube algorithm is above even us, which is quite shocking, no matter how you put it. But aside from that, thank you all for watching, and we will see you again soon.